What's up guys, David Wanted 797 here. After my last video showcasing my customized sim setup, the team at RacGTing reached out to me and hooked me up with their Challenger 301 sim cockpit. So today I'm going to be reviewing it for you and providing my thoughts. As a disclaimer, yes, RacGTing has provided me with this setup, but have had no input in what I say and will not see this video first before it goes live. If you would like to purchase anything from the RacGTing website, I will have an affiliate link in the description. As a note for my Aussie viewers, while the RacGTing website will say they do not ship to Australia, they have advised me you can contact their support email and they will work with you to get one shipped here. Getting on with it, I'm going to break this up into 6 sections. Comfort, design, price, pros and cons, and then closing thoughts. In comparison to my previous homemade setup, this thing is very comfortable. The chair is made from a very thick, high quality fabric that feels very durable. If you've ever enjoyed an afternoon sitting in a camp chair, you'll know from looking at it, you could sit in this thing all day. The fabric is easily removable with these Velcro straps that wrap around the frame, meaning, I assume, that it can be washed quite easily. The chair can be adjusted in its overall position with these ratchet style clips at the back. I'll talk more about these shortly. You can also adjust the upper headrest area with these screw clamps. While it seems like these could be adjusted a lot, I found it's only really comfortable either one click either way from the default position, which is indicated by these plastic lines. The foot pedals are also quite easily moved closer or further away by undoing these screws, and then you slide them back and forth. Once tightened, they don't seem to move. Moving on to the design, the construction of the chair is a tube steel. The key aspect of this design is that it's meant to be easily folded away, and that it actually is. Simply lifting this thing up, it will fold quickly into an upright position. The ratchet clips mentioned earlier make for quick foldability. However, this becomes a challenge when you're trying to go the other way. The mechanism is hard to engage and go back down, and trying to stick your finger in and move the metal latch is awkward and almost impossible to do for both at the same time. You can see me here struggling to get the chair to fold back down. But then, eventually, it just clicks and goes back down. Maybe I just don't have a knack for it. The wheel mount has 5 options, and I was rather confused that this came pre-set up in the lowest stability option. Why would you choose to set this up in the lowest stability? So I changed this to setting 5 for more stability. However, I then thought with trying to have myself sitting up enough with the backrest and the wheel being too high that it blocked my vision of the monitor. I suspect this is more of a challenge with my specific setup and my low coffee table as a mount for my monitor. This is not going to be an issue for someone who uses a TV for occasional play, but it's important to note that the X design of this chair does mean the higher your back is up, the higher the wheel is up. I eventually ended up remounting the wheel in the one position after trying the other mounting positions where the wheel was not close enough to me. It's still quite stable, but I just find it rather odd that those later positions, I don't know who could reach them. Getting in and out of the rig is actually quite easy. It's quite difficult for me given my setup is up against a wall and it only opens the one way. I'm assuming this is why the balancing arm has been added to the bottom left of the chair. It looks rather odd, but I believe it's been a design decision because when you open the rig and the wheel is hanging off to the side, there's a lot of weight off-center to the left side of the rig. So that small piece of metal stops the whole thing tipping over. Another strange design is that the gear stick mount has wider metal at the front that allows you to tighten the clamps in addition to using screws. The steering wheel, however, doesn't have this. This means that the wheel clamps offer no extra mounting support and you rely only on 2 screws. My old wheel stand had these 2 metal squares that lined up with the wheel clamps. My only guess is that this is for better wheel support and compatibility, but it is still rather bizarre. There were some elements I felt that could be improved, but most of them were just small things. Things like the plastic clips that look a little bit greyish and you can kind of tell they're a little bit cheaper. The screws for mounting the wheels and the pedals didn't offer much of a lip to grab onto the frame, and there's no washers included, making me choose to transfer the bolts from the old frame to this. I also noticed that these bolts you have to install when you're first setting up the chair are actually too long for the frame and started to push on the outer edge of the tubing from the inside. You can see it bulging here. While none of these are deal breakers, they're just small things and they impact on the feel of the chair as a whole. The Challenger 301 is priced at $219.99 or $220 US. For me, that's about 360 Australian dollars once you add tax. At $360, that's actually fairly priced to similar style cockpits in retail, like the Next Level Racing GT Lite, which retails here for $374. On the plus side, we've got comfortable for long gaming sessions, removable and washable fabric seat, easily folded away for space saving, and fairly priced for what it is. The downsides, the foldable design creates more difficult mechanisms to adjust on the fly, and the plastic and bolts could be slightly better. However, it's important to remember the design and shortcomings that I've mentioned hinge on its core convenience, being easily folded away. This ability offers casual gamers a great way to enjoy sim racing without needing to dedicate significant space to a setup. Most entry-level users will be the same people who appreciate that flexibility, but not all of them, myself included. I obviously have a dedicated space to my setup and I will never fold this away. So some of those difficult design elements that allow that foldability just become difficulties. Some of the small things also really just take away from what could be an absolutely great experience. Things like the plastics and the screws being a little bit too long. But these are just minor inconveniences. I think if they were changed, it would make it look and feel like a really premium product. In saying all that, if you are someone with limited space and interested in sim racing, I think this is actually an excellent starting point, especially if you're unable to dedicate time or room to building your own setup. If you've enjoyed this video, please check out some of my other videos where I show you how I modified and made my own sim rig on a budget. Please click the like button and subscribe for more videos like this, and check out my affiliate link if you're looking to buy anything from RacGTing. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.